Today we are taking a look back at the beginning of the Johnny and Amber story. Amber was in a domestic partnership with Tassia for almost 5 years, even taking on the name Amber Van Ree. On September 14, 2009, Amber and Tassia got into an altercation at the Seattle airport. Amber is arrested by the Port of Seattle police for domestic violence, misdemeanor assault, in the 4th degree.
This is the State of Washington versus Amber Van Ree, cause number CPS 013529. Stephanie Sada on behalf of the state. Ms. Van Ree is present in custody with counsel, and I didn't get your name.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michelle Shaw, and I apologize. I walked out of the courtroom, Your Honor.
The state is declining to file charges at this time.
Okay, what that means, ma'am, is no charges will be filed against you today. However, that could happen in the future. Therefore, we want to make sure we have your correct address. Sycamore Avenue in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
So you're notified by me if anything happens within the statute of limitations. Statute of limitations on a case like this is 2 years. So make sure that if the address changes that you're notified of it. Otherwise, it could result in warrants, and that would be a DV case, and that can have cross-state implications. So because you're in California, it wouldn't provide you any relief from the DV designation from the law.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
Free to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Amber was asked about this in 2016 while being deposed for her divorce with Johnny. Here is what she said.
There was no domestic violence within that relationship, and the state of Washington, where I was arrested, immediately dropped the charges because they knew the exact same thing that I just told you, that no domestic violence ever occurred, and my ex has stated such. In fact, it was so ridiculous, those charges. It was a verbal argument, it was misinterpreted, misrepresented, and completely overreacted upon by two individuals in a power position. And as soon as they found out that we were partners, which we were not going to be arrested for before, as soon as they found out we were partners, the male cop, not this other woman who's later been brought into the press, this male cop put me in handcuffs, and that's there was no physical violence, no physical abuse, and zero domestic violence whatsoever between us. It was a trumped up charge, and it was dropped immediately for being such.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that on September 14th you were in fact taken to jail? It wasn't dropped immediately.
Same objections, Vegas.
Same objections.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that you spent the night in jail from September 14th to September 15th, 2009, as a result of your arrest for domestic violence?
Same objections. It's irrelevant.
Is that true?
352. She's already answered what happened. It's
Is that
vague.
true?
It's argumentative. It's harassing. You just want to, get your harassment in. Go ahead.
Let the record reflect Mr. Carter's directing her not to answer. Did you
I
spend the night in
answered you.
jail?
I never said don't answer. I never said that.
Reporter is about to...
That's not my fault.
Yes, it is.
Because she keeps cutting me off every time I say something.
There's no need to yell, Mr. Hart.
Well, I have to be heard. Everyone's talking over me. You've got a whole wall of lawyers over there who are talking over me.
May I continue?
Except for Hans.
Can I say something?
Ms. Heard, isn't it a fact that Tasha Van Ree on September 14th, 2009 claimed to the police that you had hit her arm?
Same objection.
No?
I don't know anything about this.
Answer give a full answer, please.
I don't know anything about the claim that you just made about what Tasha said or did not say. I can't possibly know that. I know nothing about what you just said.
And then during the 2022 defamation trial.
You committed domestic violence against Miss Van Ree during your relationship, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You assaulted her at a Seattle airport in 2009, didn't you?
No, I did not.
And people saw that.
That's not true.
And it was covered in the press. Isn't that true?
It was planted in the press by Johnny's team 2 days after I got the TRO. Not
Can
coincidentally.
you please pull up?
Here is testimony from Beverly Leonard, an airport employee at the time.
What happened when you met Miss Heard in 2009?
I was in the baggage claim area, and I observed her with a traveling companion, and they got into an altercation where Ms. Heard had grabbed her traveling companion and pulled something from her neck. At that point, I got up and went over to try to break up what appeared to be a fight. And I summoned a colleague to help me, and I stepped in between them and separated them, stopping any further injuries or escalation.
November 2011, Seattle police receive a request to delete Amber's arrest record. They do so. In late 2011 or early 2012, Tassia and Amber break up. Shortly thereafter, Amber is dating Johnny. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's back up a bit, to 2008 and 2009.
Not going glum on us, are you?
Just thoughts.
What's the book?
A Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
In 2008, Amber and Johnny meet during the casting of the movie, The Rum Diary. The Rum Diary is based on the book of the same name by Hunter S. Thompson. The movie was produced by Johnny and released in October 2011. It grossed $30 million on a $45 million budget.
You may get an advertisement here. If you do, thank you for your patience while it plays. If not, lucky you.
Next we'll hear Johnny and Amber talk early days and meeting on the Rum Diary.
Bruce had asked me, he said he had been auditioning this one particular actress named Amber Heard. He said that he'd auditioned her 5 times, and he wasn't sure about her capabilities as an actress with regard to the film and the character and taking direction. And
well, I auditioned a few times, which is common in my work. You know, you get a call back, as they say. I think I knew that he was producing it as well, was doing a project that was something very personal to him. He was reprising his role as his late friend, Hunter S. Thompson, and it was a very important project to him, and that he wanted to meet me in person. I thought I would be going for maybe an audition, but it was just a meeting. I went to his office and met with him for a few hours.
And so what I said to Mr. Robinson is, I said, Bruce, I don't. If you've auditioned her 5 times, you've seen the best and the worst, I suppose. So me putting her, this girl in an uncomfortable situation, you know, saying, hey, all right, let's read this. I think it's a far better idea that we just meet so that I can see how she behaves, see how she reacts, because that's really all it is.
We spent the whole time just talking about things that we care about, and I was so surprised that somebody, you know, I knew who he was. I wasn't familiar, you know, I wasn't a fan of his work. I wasn't familiar with him, but I knew who he was. You know, he's one of the most famous people in the world. So it was already a weird thing to go and get called into his office. And, you know, I'm a no-name actor. I was 22, I think, and I thought it was unusual. It was weird because he was twice my age, and he's this world-famous actor, and here we are getting along about obscure books and weird, you know, old blues. And
she came to my office. I took one look at her and I thought, yeah, that's the Chenault that Hunter wants. That's the one. I thought, yeah, she could definitely kill me. That's That's what Hunter wants.
A few days later, my agent said that Johnny's going to call you. We gave him your phone number. I was like, oh, okay. And shortly after, my phone rings, I pick it up, and I hear, this like deep voice on the other line, and he said, "You got the, you're it, kid. You're the dream. Hunter wrote this part, and you're the dream. You're it, kid."
I made suggestions of films that might give her some insight into what we were looking for in terms of the film. Which is to say, I gave her films like To Have and Have Not.
Look, now, you shouldn't have come up here. It's too much of a chance. I told you downstairs I can't take you.
I didn't come up for that. I'm sorry for the way I've acted.
Oh, you're not sorry at all. You're just sorry because you made a fool out of yourself.
And things of that nature, because I wanted to... There was something very important that I felt she needed to know about stillness, as opposed to, going broad or acting a little too much. Initially, mostly very, very, very few interactions.
We didn't really have a whole lot of interaction on set until we did a scene that involved kissing. We had a kissing scene, and it didn't feel like a normal scene anymore. It felt more real. There are certain things that you do in the job to be professional, like when you have to do that sort of scene, and you don't you don't use your tongue if you can avoid it. There's certain things that you do to just maintain a certain line, and it just felt like those lines were blurred. I mean, he grabbed my face and pulled me into him and really kissed me. But we were filming a scene.
And but other than that, we didn't really have much interaction until there was a scene where I'm taking a shower, and then she comes into the room and she opens the shower, and we kiss. And that moment was. It felt like something. It felt like something that I shouldn't be feeling, because she had her wife, and even though it was a scene, and she had her wife, and I had Vanessa and kiddies, and yeah.
In late 2011 or early 2012, Johnny and Vanessa Paradis split. They were a couple for over 10 years and have 2 children together. It's early 2012, and we are back to the beginning of the Johnny and Amber relationship. Though there were sparks during the filming of the Rum Diary, it wasn't until the press tour that Johnny and Amber fell in love.
She's a rebel, she's a free-spirited, rebellious, independent woman who is in many ways trapped by her surroundings, and is just waiting to fall in love with someone like Johnny Depp.
What was it like falling in love with Johnny Depp then?
It ain't bad.
And we fell in love. We went on this press tour, and it was a beautiful and strange time. We were flying from one, not together, but, going from one city to the next, Europe, New York, Los Angeles, as I said, and we're just traveling around talking about this movie that we did together, that we participated in together. And we were falling in love. I mean, it was just, at the first dinner in London, he had me sat next to him at a dinner, And then we ended up spending the night together in my hotel room. And for the rest of the press tour, it was on. I'll put it that way.
Hey team, Blake here with Crushing Defeat Media. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is the first little bit, this bit that covers the beginning of the JD and AH relationship in a long documentary that I'm working on that covers the entire timeline. So, if you made it this far in the video, first, thank you so much. And second, hoping for a little bit of feedback. Was the pacing okay? Should it be a little snappier? You know, that type of thing. So thank you so much in advance for your feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Oh, and by the way, if you're looking for something else to watch, here's a couple of videos up on the screen right now that I would recommend. Thanks again, team. Bye.